Are we back? What the hell happened? Did I walk away from the computer and my internet dies? That's crazy. But I guess we're back? Well, that must have appeared very strange, actually, from the stream perspective. Oh, it looks like SC has actually stopped. And honestly, that makes sense. I'm gonna be real, they're probably realizing that they're not gonna be getting that much further. Or, you know, not without, you know, kind of getting significantly more fresh. Let's see, do we have any other teams going? We kind of don't. No, we really don't, actually. Okay. So we do still have Mela going, though. And we have LN, and we have COF. It was very weird. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what happened there, guys. I just come back and there's just, you know, the internet just is gone. I was like, oh. But you know what's weird? I then came back and then it instantly returned. Maybe I'm like an antenna somehow. Wait, is the YouTube stream back, though? That's the question, because I'm not sure if the YouTube stream restarts properly. Yo, YouTube, are you guys there? Let me see. Wait, is the YouTube stream live? I don't think it's there. That's annoying. How do I bring it back? Wait, oh, it is live. Wait, where is this thing? Oh, okay. It just wasn't showing up for me, but I was able to find it. Hello, YouTube. How you guys doing? Okay, yeah, no, all right, we're all right. Yeah. Well, there you have it. Anyway, we are so back. How dare you type frick in my chat? Frick is banned. Also, here we are. We're logged in. We're in business. I'm on the hunt for some other teams, you know? That's what I'm doing, guys. I'm hunting down some other teams. But it looks like, is it only these two streaming? I guess it is actually fairly late on EU, so most of the EU teams have probably kind of come and gone. But it looks like this is the gang, this is the crew. LN are grinders, man. They really are putting in the hours on this. I really respect that. We are going for the double healer, though. It looks like there was some experimentation with LN going for a triple heal, but it looks like they have kind of gone back on that. It was a little bit too unstable, I feel like. So this does make a lot of sense, in my opinion, that they're going this direction. Same with NA. It looks like NA is actually 8 out of 10, so probably taking a little break currently. Why not participating? I mean, my team... Look, okay, you want to see what my team is? Go back in the stream where we're playing WoW. That's where my team is. They're logged in to World of Warcraft. That's what's going on. They're deep logged on. Huge. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we're taking a bit of a break for COF. But bear in mind, guys, this is where things do get interesting here. This is where things really, really actually do get interesting. Because now what's going to happen is that we're going to have NA and EU be awake at slightly different times. So EU is going to wake up before NA, but also NA is going to keep playing a little bit later because of the time zone difference. So this is actually, you know, some potential where NA can do a little bit of cookery and catch up a little bit. So they are very close, right? There's actually it's actually very interesting. There's a 7% differential between all of the top 3 teams. So it's 7%, 23 through to 30 for COF, and then 30 through to 37 for LN at the same time. Mela, of course, still repping the mech, and it looks like we're basically playing a very similar approach to SC here from LN. Now, what is interesting, guys, is that it really does feel to me, I'm really surprised that teams haven't started to go for the Willbender. Now, bear in mind, the Willbender is a much harder build to play than the mech, and that might be the concern there, that it will take some time to kind of adapt to it, but this is going to be a long race, right? I do feel like, you know, I do feel like playing that Willbender is a really smart decision. Like, getting those packaged into the comp is a really big deal, and a key part of SC's consistency and success with managing these mechanics. So I would like to see teams actually start to go for that, I think. And I do think this still gives, when it comes to this, like, you know, LN versus SC, I feel like SC simply have a very strong composition advantage over their opponents currently. SC was experimenting with the Thief as well, like the CC DEADEYE that NA is playing with. I don't think they committed to it. I think they did a couple of pulls with it, see how it was feeling right, experimenting a little bit. And look, once you get to P4, it doesn't matter again, right? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter as much because you don't really care about the ads anymore, but they are really tanky, right? And I feel like that's big, no? Being able to live, I feel like, is huge. Having that Aegis spam up, having the heal, right? Like, you know, litany is big. All that kind of stuff. Oh, wait, SC swapped to all mechs? That's pretty interesting, actually, as well. I guess they just saying, yeah, we just got to get to that phase and just live. And just have all-out DPS, because I guess the Willbenders don't have as much damage as the mechs in terms of raw single target. That's actually pretty interesting, then. Well, it's Condi Mech then, guys. Condi Mech Central. Here we go. It's a Condi Mech frenzy. Is it mostly just getting better? I'm gonna be real, guys. I have not been convinced that it is possible to survive Phase 4 for long enough to kill the boss. Yeah. That's all I will say. I am not convinced that it's livable. And it's not even actually the Enrage. Like, I think the Enrage is pretty wacky and I think unrealistic, given current strategies. But the problem is, even if they increase, okay, let's say we increase the timer by 2 minutes on LCM. Do you live another 2 minutes in Phase 4, guys? That's going to be what? 10 vent shots at least up. Probably more like 12 or even 14. So many geysers that you can't deal with because you're going to have to go out incredibly far to deal with that, and that's just not going to be livable. So, oh, it looks like LN is actually stopping. I guess it's kind of bedge. I mean, it is getting late, right? It's midnight in Europe, so that's probably not the worst thing in the universe to do, actually. But yeah, three fumarolas. I mean, look, they're worse than fumarolas. They are very, very painful. They really are. They are not a good time. They really, really are not. I believe we actually do have a new best from VL as well, getting to 41% P4. That's pretty much the situation, I believe, as it stands. Since it's obvious, it's impossible. Well, I mean, they probably don't want to nerf it, like, immediately, and they'll probably do a post about it, or at least I certainly hope they will anyway. 11 to midnight is crazy. Look, I like it. I respect that grind. It's fucking big, man. LN is definitely on the grind. I'd love to see it. They've got a bit of ground to make up, and we'll see what they can cook tomorrow. But the thing is, all of these teams need to get consistent now. Because realistically, if things are going to get adjusted, it's going to be tomorrow or Friday, right? That is the reality here. I think probably Friday. I want to say Friday is when they're most likely to change it. These teams need to be ready for that. Because if they nerf it by, let's say, 20% HP, SC is currently the only guild in kill range. If they nerf the HP down to 20% on the reheal as opposed to 41, it will die. SC will be able to kill that, I believe. Because the boss would be at what? It would essentially be at 3% HP, right? Like, more or less, is where it would be. And that is absolutely within kill range on a perfection level pull. So the teams need to be aware of that. Yeah. So we'll have to see. And again, I would say tomorrow is a really big day. If you want to be... If they want to be able to kill, COF and LN and VL, they need to be getting, very consistently to low 20s by tomorrow into P4 if we kill with an adjustment. Mela with the raid, love to see that. Mela, of course, LN leader, actually, has taken over from Nightmare. Love to see that. Very high tier. NA, the only group still awake at this stage. World's first LCM race, Dozer Pals, COF. Might have to wait a little while. They are taking a break, of course, and I think that's sensible. You've got to pace yourself, guys. You really do. You have to relax. You have to chill. You know, you have to game. Log in T-Crank it. Yeah, I will be doing keys, mice. I'll probably do a couple after... I'm not sure I'm going to do any today, actually. I might do some after tomorrow's stream or something. I'm actually pretty tired today. So today, we are chilling, man. We are relaxing. We are just chilling out. We really are. Yeah. Mela be nimble. Mela be quick. If I Google that, what does it come up with? Oh, it doesn't really come up with anything. It is unaware of the copy pasta. Incredible. Cocoa melon comes up. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not really what we're looking for, though, is it? So, honestly, Mela, thoughts? Give me your thoughts. I feel like I should call Mela. I'm actually calling Mela, dude. I'm just going to call him, bro. I'm bringing him in. I'm calling this fucker. Yo.
Yo.
Yo, so, I mean, what's going on? Why is it not dead? What's the situation?
I think we're just dying before the boss does, to be honest.
That is fair. But I mean, like, you know, okay, like, here's an example. Like, what were you working on today? Like, what was did you have a focus for progression purposes today, or were you just kind of just sending it?
Okay, so the issue is that running 3 healers is really cool and nice and comfy.
Yeah.
But you are never actually gonna kill it before the enrage.
Yeah, because you just don't have the numbers, right?
Yeah, and if you go with 2 healers, even if you do it really, really, really well, it will still get messy and DPS will like drop and it will be really weird.
Yeah.
But even if you do only 2 healers, DPS check, assuming that the boss actually dies at 1% or 0, is still gonna be not doable. It gets to a point where if you CC the boss at like a certain amount of stacks, it is impossible to break in the last phase.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like what do you even do? Like the boss is just gonna gain infinite stacks and then it takes no damage and it will one-shot you without attacks.
And that certainly does appear to be a big issue. That's for sure. You know, like it is definitely getting to that point because, you know, this is, you know, from my perspective, we have run into this really interesting situation where essentially the teams actually have done all the mechanics, right? You know, as far as we're aware, there is nothing else that happens. And I'm going to be real with you. In my opinion, it probably does just die at 0%. And like we have seen the whole fight. And we're in this really weird scenario where we're kind of going, well, I'm looking at the phase 1 DPS. and they have enough phase 1 DPS to kill it until they get to phase 2, where it, where it goes down like 20k lower than they need, and it's like, oh well, that's interesting. And I think there's also another issue with the, I'm curious like how long you think you can survive in phase 4 itself, because of course the vent shots are not killable, right? They have 24 million HP. So
you just have to ignore them.
You're forced to ignore them and essentially kind of like move the boss around. And of course that really limits your ability to manage the geysers in that phase. Because if there's toxics up and you move out to deal with that toxic, one, there's going to be 17 sulfurics, but also a vent shot is just going to wallop you. So it's going to be very difficult to manage those toxic geysers in the final phase, of the encounter. So like how much, I mean, we've seen obviously some pretty, we've seen SC go into that phase with around 2 minutes on the clock. I think a little more than that actually, with some really good DPS. And they of course essentially then wipe to the Enrage at around 23%. In order to actually kill the boss, so let's assume that let's assume that the Enrage is not relevant, right? And it doesn't even exist. They would probably need at least another minute and a half to finish off the boss. And surviving that seems to be very challenging. You're going to have what? I mean, how many vent shots would that even be? That's going to be like 15 vent shots that are going to be activated at that stage. There's going to be toxics all over the place, like double sulfurics continuously spawning. Like, that's going to be an issue.
I think, like, even if the Enrage didn't actually kill you, the boss getting too many stacks and not being able to be CC'd is kind of annoying. Like, you can really calculate how much damage you need to do in X amount of time, because every time you get into stack, it's getting worse and worse and worse, and you have to CC it to remove them. Like, the break bar just becomes massive.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so that definitely is a bit of an issue. They had 37 seconds left on timer, so it was just an instability thing. So now they're pushing the limits of like how long they can survive in there. So it's definitely like it's definitely a situation, that's for sure. I'm gonna go look at the VOD actually and see what that actually looked like. Because of course it was an exciting 1% best, very epic. Oh, it looks like maybe there's a clip actually. There's no VOD available. Maybe Luna has VODs actually. Cryo Phoenix.
the warrior man.
Yeah, he is the warrior man. World versus world roamer. Gamer. Enjoyer. Love to see that. 2:15 left on the time when we phase. Yeah, to the legendary shooting guys. Yeah, those are definitely pretty rough. That's for sure. The vent shots, they are a problem, and I think this is very interesting. And of course, I very much think that all of the guilds are going to be thinking about this. Look, I'm going to be real. I think it's very likely that ArenaNet is going to adjust this relatively soon, and this is a very interesting, thing to kind of experience from a tactics perspective as the guild. What are you thinking about this? Like, how are you approaching the scenario where the boss ends up getting nerfed in the relatively immediate future? Like, what are you going to do about that?
The a bit annoying thing about this is that we have people on U and people on an A, so depending on when the possible patch
exactly. That's going to be interesting.
Weird, because some people might be awake and be like, "Oh, log in, right? Let's do it." While some people might not be here, or they might be asleep, or they might be like outside or something.
I would very much hope.
Other than that,
yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Like, other than that, I think just getting like consistent at doing the mechanics with every person that rotates in during breaks and the like backups that come in. Just making sure that everybody can do the roles correctly with double heal comp or triple heal comp is just like the only thing you can really do.
Yeah.
So whenever the patch does happen, you just do it.
You just have to send it, yeah. And it's possible they might do it incrementally as well. They might simply do a very small adjustment initially, and if that's still not enough, they might do it again. And I think this is where ArenaNet really needs to communicate on this. I think they would definitely let everyone know when they were going to make that change. I guess, look, I will do a public service announcement. I'm sure you guys are already aware of this, but just in case, like, ArenaNet's usual hotfix time is basically 1 hour ago. So, that is a little bit late for the EU gang. of course, but like that is the reality of the situation. So teams are going to have to be aware of that and kind of watching out for any kind of post from ArenaNet. But I do think they would absolutely go ahead and communicate that ahead of time, in my opinion. But that is the situation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like this in WoW too. You know, there's been a couple of situations in WoW where a boss has been nerfed, like when EU has been asleep. I think actually it was when NA has been asleep, actually, and then basically NA woke up and EU just killed it because they nerfed it really hard. Now, hopefully they, you know, yeah, hopefully that wouldn't happen, you know, here, and they'd be, and look, I think they've got a lot of data, right? They're seeing the polls, right? You know, like they're seeing the polls going from these teams. They know about what the teams are capable of. They're looking at SC. They're going to be looking at you guys in terms of the damage output. So they can probably make some pretty tactical adjustments with like how they actually go ahead and go and approach the situation for sure. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. And I just really hope they do. Honestly, they just kind of announce it. They need to announce this because I'm not gonna lie. Right now, you know, right now, I very firmly believe that we can see sub 20% pulls. I'm not totally convinced, unless we're missing something and we're just big dum-dums, that we're going to be seeing actual kills with the, you know, the current state of, you know, of like how the game is right now, like the numbers that we have access to. It doesn't appear to be doable unless there is some kind of like pretty major thing that we've missed, some way to extend the timer in some way, or some way to deal with the ads in phase 4 in a way that hasn't been discovered as of right now. Because yeah, like 23% is a long way when the boss has like fucking 8 stacks up the entire time, and it's also surrounded by guys and a billion ads. Like sub 20% I think is realistic, but much past that, it's gonna start getting really, really tough, I think, to get any further.
Yeah, honestly, like depending on what they change, if there is a patch, of course, like depending on what they change, they don't even need to like change much. Like, yeah, depending on what the possible nerf would be, they don't have to really like destroy the entire fight.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like NA is actually stopping as well. So it looks like the guilds are basically, the race is basically done. Yeah, if any of you guys want to hop on Discord, we can do that. Well, if anyone wants to hop on, like, let me know. I can just add people. We can do that if you guys want to chat about the boss and stuff. So yeah, just give me a ping on Discord if you want to join. I'm adding Grim. Grim is being added. Okay, there we go. Yo, what's going on?
Hello.
He's here.
This is my first time like being invited to a call.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah. He's arrived.
Yeah, I'm usually not cool enough.
Yeah. So what's your take then? What's your take on the, you know, because I think, you know, you're maybe not having so much fun right now, Grim. I think a little bit of frustration being expressed there, I feel like, in the chat. Like what's going on?
Man, playing against numbers after playing against like Saris is just such a bad feeling, right? Like you always feel like you can play better on Saris, and like this fight has that to some extent, but like, man, there's a wall of numbers in your way.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely a pretty big distinction, right? Like Saris was a puzzle, and like a lot of the times you'd be dying to the mechanics. The DPS check was obviously like, you know, tight, especially on launch, but the big thing was you needed to, you know, actually solve the fight correctly, like actually approach the fight, and that was kind of how it went even to the very end, right? Was like just execution. But this, it does feel like the fight ultimately has been strategically pretty well solved by a lot of the teams, right? Like, I think in particular by COF and SC have like really good management of the geysers and so on, and you know, a good approach of getting through the first part of the fight very consistently. But it is just a bit of a brick wall as of right now in terms of numbers. There's a lot of cooking going on, like people cooking with the CC DEADEYE and all this kind of stuff, all this kind of interesting stuff. But it appears that there is definitely a bit of a hard limit on being progressed into the fight. Like, do you think there is some kind of unholy cook that people haven't come up with right now?
There's one.
Oh, I hope so.
Wait, what do you think, Mela? Wait, what's the unholy? Wait, actually, maybe you shouldn't say.
There is one, but it will not happen.
Wait.
Nobody wants to do it.
So you're saying it's forbidden, basically. It's
the forbidden cook. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, you have to say it, you know. Come on.
Nah, you would know. It's just that nobody will fucking do it, man. It's complete cancer.
Wait, you talking about the Blade Sworn cook?
No. Dude, we tried one Blade Sworn, it was popping off, man. Then he got a mechanic and it was over.
Yeah.
Power Mirage, Yui, you know, you have infinite targets. Like Shelly now with like 60k DPS.
Big.
I mean, look. I think we're in a really interesting position here because I feel like all the teams have tomorrow to try anything you want. Because I think they won't change it until Friday. I want to be very clear, just so I'm not actually being Guild Wars 2 Illuminati. I have no idea. I'm just guessing here. But there's definitely some room for experimentation going on. Like SC was like messing around with the Thief a little bit today. Like some teams are trying Spectre and so on. So I think there is some room for experimentation or like grinding consistency. That's another option there as well, of course. But yeah, like it's going to be very interesting to see if people have any forbidden cooks. The forbidden one. Grim is, of course, playing the forbidden one.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm an enjoyer. Actually, that was the whole like mini game. I was like theorycrafting. I was like, how do I fit
the forbidden one in?
Celestial
Yeah.
Scourge
How
into
does it
comp?
make it into the comp? That's the only reason, yeah.
Like you can't play it because it doesn't CC like the Toxics, but like the Deadeye fixes it.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. It's in.
Yeah. Like that was big.
It's a jungle strat.
Yes. I mean, look, maybe jungle strat aura is possible. There's like some little rock you can climb on.
Actually, I can
do
confirm
edge
that it
strats.
is.
Yeah, you can do edge
Jungle strat does work.
Oh, really? But would it help on CM, though? That's the question.
I don't think so. I think there's too much health. Like,
Yeah.
You can't kill the boss.
Yeah, so I guess that's no good. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what's going on. But, you know, like, I want on like a fun factor. Like, is the boss fun? That's what I want to know.
It's just not different enough from CM, to be honest.
Yeah.
It just feels like the same fight.
Yeah.
It's like you do pattern, it just resets. You do pattern, it just resets, and at some point it just gets chaotic. Like I actually found Sarah's way more fun, to be honest.
Okay.
It's like Sarah's is a little puzzle, right? It's
Yeah.
more, I don't know. I find the puzzled meme a little bit more enjoyable.
Okay. Yeah. And I think this is definitely some good feedback that we can give to ArenaNet here, actually, because I do think a key thing with these fights is that ArenaNet have a tendency to kind of like layer new mechanics on going into phases, but I feel like it is important to have entirely new phases sometimes where like the mechanics are totally different, not just kind of like a rearrangement. I think that works with Ceres, but that's because of like what Ceres is and like how Ceres works, especially with the whole like builder boss thing as well. I think is pretty good, but I think sometimes you do need to actually go in the direction of like actually having like a bunch of entirely new attacks that exist there as well. And certainly, yeah, with LCM, making it just more numbers, which I'm not gonna lie is basically what the LCM is perhaps not the direction you want to go. I think if you do want to go with an LCM, then I think they probably want to have some mechanical changes in the future, or at least that would be, I think, a really big goal for sure. Or otherwise, they could just like, you know, really have a big focus on the CM clears as well if they do that again. We'll see. Goon. Ceres LCM is basically more health though. Well, there's that. The reason why Ceres LCM being more HP was fine was because it released the opposite way around. Like, and I think ArenaNet might have got baited by this actually, by looking at the data, because Ceres LCM was good because it went from they did LCM first and then released CM later. Yeah. Which is kind of how it goes in WoW, right? Like they basically release like a Giga mode, right, and then eventually nerf it, like for people who want to have a slightly less of a challenge, right? Which is basically what happened with Ceres. But the thing is, when you go the other way around, especially with a 2-week prep period, it's nowhere near as exciting to have a boss that has like a really high DPS check when you already know the mechanics, right? And you basically know what was going to happen. I think it was actually really interesting. Some people on the subreddit got baited. They were like, oh shit, dude, I bet those guilds had their minds blown when the boss healed. But the thing is, everyone already knew it was going to do that, right? Not the number, obviously, but it wasn't a surprise that it healed. That would have been a really sick surprise to have on the LCM, right? Like, imagine on URA CM, she dies at 0%, right? But on LCM, it heals. That would be incredibly hyped, right? But the thing is, because they release it the other way around, they essentially spoiled their own encounter to an extent. So that might be worth considering on their end, I feel like. But yeah. I thought the teams could have prepared better if they ran with lower damage comps. Well, I mean, I actually think the teams extensively practiced. Like, the thing is, a lot of guilds, and I imagine this is very much true of all the teams that prepared, is that you very quickly recognize that doing URA CM with 3 healers is not slow, in fact, because the trouble is when you drop a healer, 1, your group is a lot less stable, but 2, you're losing a lot of CC, and the fight is very CC heavy, and you kind of, it's really good to have basically a bunch of players running around doing the mechanics. You'll notice if you look at any of the support POVs, that's pretty much what they're doing, right? They're running around doing mechanics pretty much the entire time. So if you drop a healer, it doesn't even really get you that much damage. We saw a couple of LN pulls where they were running with a double healer, and they did have more damage than the groups running triple healer, but it wasn't that much, and it was very unstable compared to running the triple healer setup.
Yeah, you
overall.
lose a lot of boons, right?
Yeah.
Because those healers are running around, and they have to stay out for longer because they have to CC, you lose boon uptime, which is a DPS loss. Like, dropping healers on this fight, making sure that you lose CC, you lose boons, you lose like heals and writ uptime, like, it evens out like really fast.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as you progress deeper into the fight, right? When things get more chaotic and there's more going on.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna drop a healer, you kind of need to drop 2 in a way, and like still have like boons somehow, which is kind of what we ended up doing.
Never gonna happen.
It's still not much better.
Yeah, for sure.
I think our comp is like 20k theoretical DPS more than like SCs, and like they have like a whole healer and a half on us, or something like that. So there's really not much to be gained on this fight.
Yeah. So it's difficult to package that additional DPS in there while also being able to actually, play the fight mechanically, right? So that is the situation that's going on there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, what? Okay, so Grim, you guys are at 30%. And I kind of asked this question of Mela here before you showed up. But like, did you have a particular focus that you were looking for with progression today? Like, or did you have something in mind that you wanted to really work on in particular, or like some kind of strategy you wanted to try out, or refinement? Or were you just like grinding at this point, like with the strat that you already have?
Oh, I mean, we can play so much better. I mean, like we're playing a really aggressive comp with like 1.5 healers, so it's really up to like how well the DPS players play, and as a result, like. RNG plays a big factor in like just how like well our polls can go, because we're more aggressive than the other comps are, and like as a result, we're more fragile, but we also scale better when we get good RNG. So, but
honestly, I think this is one of those fights where you probably do wanna just have a comp and use it until the boss dies. You don't care about, oh yeah, if you swap a player, it will never work. Like, the way the fight is right now, you just have to actually like take risks and just play random things until it works and just keep grinding it. Like I think what NA people in COF are doing is actually good. Like, it really is just one of those fights where you gotta do this, otherwise you just die, man. Like,
yeah. What percent would you like to be pushing towards tomorrow then, Grim, when you guys come back? Like, pushing down to like approaching 20%? Is that kind of the goal for tomorrow?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know how fast our progression is gonna be. We don't pull as much. We spend a lot of time talking and making sure we're all on the same page and stuff.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of DCs, so.
Ah, yes, Ryan. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, well.
Buy that man a VPN.
Yeah,
it's time.
We have a couple of Germans with German internet as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I definitely remember that from playing with some Germans for sure. Just falls over sometimes.
I think we've only had like 4 or 5 good sub 0% phases. So like, and like the one we got today, we jumped the whole 6%. So you never know how far we can like.
Absolutely. And yeah, it is. I think there are some things where things just have to kind of go well. I think it's a really big deal who gets targeted by mechanics, especially it feels like early into phase 4, because if like the wrong people get sent away, it can be really, really hard to kind of stay stable when you're kind of just setting up that phase, starting to damage the boss. And obviously boss movement there can completely own you. If the boss decides to kind of like leap into a geyser, that's, you know, that's not a good time, right, for that to happen at that stage, which can be, I think, really, really rough.
Yeah, the leap is honestly the single worst thing about the fight. I wish the boss just did not have that skill, and it just didn't move ever.
That would be very good, yes.
Yeah. It's a little bit hard to manipulate it for sure, right? And to make it go where you want, especially when you've got like multiple people kind of handling mechanics at the same time. It's like very easy to get a bad bait, which is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems is just like the boss doesn't jump like ever when you want it to. Like you try to bait it, and then it's like, nope, I'm gonna cast 5 attacks before I jump.
Yeah, the
And
boss
you
AI
can't wait that long.
is...
Like you die if you wait that long.
The boss AI is just dog. The only way to describe it.
Wow. That's harsh. It's harsh stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I like the grilling AI when they just like walk past you, just completely ignore you. Those are pretty fun.
I mean the champions do that here as well. Sometimes they just like go on a walk.
Yeah, they venture off into the jungle, into the, you know, the jungle. Well, I mean, do you have any other comments? Because, you know, it is kind of weird, actually. This is a very strange race here. It just feels like... It does feel a little bit like there's not much to say here because we're waiting... We're basically waiting to see what happens and, like, how much damage the teams can squeeze out, pretty much.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, as soon as they nerf it, it's gonna be like Saris, where it's like, okay, the boss is... It's gonna be even worse than Saris, where, like, boss follows over now. In a way.
Yeah. Do we finish URA? No, they haven't finished URA just yet. We're getting there, though. You know, progress is being made, of course. It is being made. It absolutely is. They vent shot. Indeed, yeah, the vent shot happens. Jump after the bubble. Yeah, there is kind of like a sequencing to it, but there can be like really big gaps between when the boss actually uses the jump. So, and the thing is, also, the problem is because you can, it only happens on like a timer. Once a bad jump happens, you're kind of just screwed, to be honest. Like, because if you're losing that much damage from the boss being in a geyser, the boss is also going to be doing way more damage as well because of the 25 might. It's just, it's kind of, it's GG, you know, it's game over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, resolution for 30 seconds. Yeah, like, might as well GG.
Yeah. GG. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's a pretty interesting situation so far. Of course, this is the second day. Of course, more progress will be made tomorrow. I think it was pretty interesting, though, because I feel like a lot of guilds kind of said, this ain't happening, right? Because a lot of people were playing on day 1, but a lot less teams played today. It feels like not a lot of progress from, I think the only guilds that really moved anywhere, but basically the top 4 that continued playing today. So I think it is very interesting. I feel like a lot of guilds are just kind of waiting for ArenaNet to modify it a little bit. Dude, you with the pride, I'd love to see it.
Because it like completely, sorry, you can go ahead, Melo.
No, go on. I'm just gonna
Okay, yeah, it's interesting though, because like, if they nerf it, right? A lot of groups like still won't go for it. I think like it's still like close to impossible for like even if they nerf it, right? Like it's not impossible, obviously. Like SC's like at 23%. A lot of the other groups have like plenty of like DPS to like push and catch up, but like if they nerf it a lot, like is it even an LCM at that point? You know?
Yeah, they gotta be careful.
Well, I think it depends. Like, what do we, you know, how do we define LCM, right? Like, what do we mean by that? Because I think that if a fight is kind of like entirely dependent on a DPS check for its difficulty, then I think that's a little bit cooked. I think the URA has a lot of coordination, which is pretty interesting, actually. Like, you really have to be on point with, like, being aware of the mechanics and, like, working together as a team, right? Like, everyone kind of has to be doing the thing. There's a lot of communication going on there. So I think it will definitely maintain some of its difficulty, right? Like even if the DPS check becomes like less of a pressure, and like over time as well, I think it is worth noting, right? It will become less of a pressure because of power creep, right? Like the number is going to go up at some point, right? So like that will probably address it. You know, it is funny. It's one of those things that ArenaNet have to be careful about, because I feel like this has happened now with Ceres, right? Because they nerfed Condivert by a pretty significant margin. That has probably like tanked the number of people who are even attempting it, actually. Like because of now, the DPS check is just straight up more difficult than it was like on launch, right? So that's going to be like, yeah, people are going to go, yeah, fuck that. I think we'll pass on that one. It's pretty interesting.
I wanted to mention something about this release of like hardest fight in the game, and also maybe some of the previous ones. There seems to be some kind of issue with ArenaNet releasing this type of content. They always have some kind of problem, like, oh, actually we're delaying it, or oh, this content is actually releasing with like the biggest balance patch the game has ever had.
Ah, yes, that was content actually.
Yeah, this kind of stuff, especially when people have to like actually take time off, I don't know, studies, work, to be able to do this kind of content, is kind of frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not playing, and a big part of that is because this release is the worst possible time. Like, I think they actually couldn't have picked a worse time to do it. And obviously, look, they're not beholden to me. I get that, right? I'm not going to pretend that they owe me. Like, yeah, you better release it when I'm free, Arena. I'm the most important player ever, right? But it would be really nice to actually have like very early confirmed release dates, right? Because look, let's be honest, they knew when they were going to release this like long before they actually posted about it. Like, they had this like random delay that popped up in the Wizards Vault. They didn't even confirm it then. They even waited a little bit longer after that. And if they do want to really lean into this like Race to Worlds first stuff, which I think is great, I think they should. It's awesome. Love to see that,
it's
right?
Really good.
Yeah, it is. It really is good. And the fact that we got any notice at all is like why like a good chunk of teams did actually show up and started to progress it, which is definitely kind of a more novel thing, seeing as basically only the degenerates have been playing these on release, right? Like before. Yeah, like that is definitely a big step in the right direction, but I think they should definitely go further with this 100%. And yeah, they should definitely go further with this, and they should consider really communicating ahead of time, like how they plan to actually release this kind of thing at the end of the day.
I'd love to see their design philosophy as well. Like, you know, obviously URA just has like mainly the DPS check rather than the mechanics. Like, I hope that like trend like isn't in their design philosophy, right?
Well,
like,
I think that
like you said, I hope they didn't take the wrong lesson from like Ceres, where it's like more DPS check equals good.
Yeah, I feel like there
more
might have been a
mechanics
little
equals
bit,
good.
but I think an issue that ArenaNet has actually is that, and I think this is a slight problem in their design in general. I think we kind of saw this in some of the fractals, like in particular, like Lonely Tower for sure, actually, is that they don't beat these fights. They don't have an internal testing team that actually beats this, let's say, like Final Fantasy, right, where they beat their own ultimates, or World of Warcraft, where they have an internal mythic testing team who beat the fights. They don't have that. And that means that a lot of the time, there's probably not an intended solution for some of this stuff. Like, for example, like Phase 4 of LCM, they were probably like, yeah, they can do it, right? Like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, get those vent shots in there. Let's see what they, see what they come up with, right? There's kind of a lacking, there's a certain element where they are going to be kind of YOLOing it, I think, with the design sometimes, especially for stuff like LCM. So that could potentially be a problem, and I don't know, like, the way they do that is they need an internal testing team, right? But that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, the chat's concerned about not having a DPS check. Like, that's not, like, what I'm referring to, right? You need a DPS check, but, like, ideally the mechanics are what causes the DPS check to be, like, relevant, and not just, the boss having 50% damage reduction the entire fight.
Well, and yeah, obviously, guys, we're not saying to make DPS completely irrelevant, but what I'm saying is like something like Ceres LCM very much has a DPS check, right? Same as like Embodiment of Sin and so on. Like, these things absolutely have DPS checks.
Yeah, make no mistake. If there wasn't an enrage timer on this boss, it would be dead. You'd be playing the EOS comp, and it would die like within 10 pulls. To be honest, like, the boss just does not do damage. Honestly,
I don't think having the fight be basically impossible to kill on release is like the end of the world. But if they could like test it a little bit beforehand, like okay, I'll give you like a random example. Reduce like the boss's entire health pool by like let's say 10%. Let's say like 5%. The boss will like be dead maybe in 2 days, and that would be like good enough, right? You still go through like the same struggles. You still go through like hard DPS check, testing comps, and everything.
Yeah, it's also worth noting this is not abnormal at all. By the way, like other MMOs have this, right? Like you know, in WoW, they'll do the same thing.
Like,
they'll tune it like
on purpose.
No, of course not. You know, they go through a similar situation, right? Because like the way that they've actually had some interviews about this with Blizzard. And they basically say like we beat a version of it and then we like add another 10%, right? Basically, like that's the way they think about it. A lot of the time, they're just like, yeah, we test it and then we add some more numbers to it because like the players are really really good. With this kind of stuff, obviously. So, like, yeah, they definitely need... it's not... I don't think it's actually an issue whatsoever. Like, let's actually just make the assumption that it's impossible right now. Like, that's not actually an issue. Like, it's not uncommon for that to happen in other games.
Yeah, as long as the fight is the same when it is possible, then it's fine. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. HTCM doesn't have a DPS check. Well, the thing is, it kind of did, like, on launch, right?
Yeah, on launch it did.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, when Ceres came out, though, like it was impossible, right?
Oh yeah. When it had like the 160 million, like that was probably not super realistic.
Well, and that was really good though, because like you always felt like you could get better at the mechanics, and like this fight doesn't have that nearly as much. So it's like you
there is a couple things.
It's like okay, you hit the impossible wall a lot faster.
There's a couple things in this fight that are just so bullshit.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the fight is a lot simpler. Right, like I think that's like you know basically what's happened here. Like URA is not complex, right? Like it is essentially like the same thing from 100 to 0 to an extent, right? Like you're just you know you're just doing the mechanics and like more and more of them start popping up. Like whereas Ceres had more of like a puzzle to it, right? Because like you had like different overlaps to interact with. Whereas like with URA, that's not really so much of a thing because like the fight is different from a design perspective.
Also, another thing that I find really weird about these prog encounters is that it's not the case anymore for like HTCM. It's like I'm not the biggest fan of just stacking the same class to kill it. It's really...
Well, that's always going to happen though. Like there's pretty much no way around that.
The way the balance of the game changed, like that one day, yeah, now it's always going to be like this. But it's just like, I don't know, man.
I don't think I'd really... I mean, I think as though there are different approaches. For example, like Willbenders were seeing some play. Looks like people are going for a lot of mechs now. But what about the NA cookery going on as well? There's some NA cookery with the Deadeye as well. Like some teams are running Spectre. Like at the end of the day,
like DPS,
you know,
I mean DPS classes, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's just the way of it. Like the only way you can change that is if DPS classes become more differentiated, right?
Which, I mean, they say they don't want, right? They don't want to balance, like, ranged and melee DPS differently. So, like, we're stuck with this.
Yeah.
Like, you would never play Untamed in a million years on a fight like this, unless it was, like, 55 or more, like, DK DPS, and it's not. It's not even close.
Yeah, exactly what Nika says. You need to have, like, unique abilities, potentially. Or you need to have, like, very distinct damage profiles, right? Like, this is ultimately how WoW handles it a lot of the time. It's like, like, okay, here's, like, a really wacky example. It turns out that Warlock is just, there's, like, a Warlock build that's really sick with, like, exactly 2 targets, right? Just because that's just the way the class works, right? And there's other stuff like this as well. It's like, if you have this amount of targets, then this class is really sick. If you need to hit things that are far apart, something like Shadow Priest is really, really sick, right? So the classes are very differentiated in how their damage profiles operate. I'm not sure that would be a very big design shift in Guild Wars 2. I mean, the game could do it, obviously. You know, there's no reason why they couldn't do that. But it would be a very major design shift in how they would go about, like, do it class design and, like, class balance as well. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Casuals in the chat explaining to me how DPS classes work. True. 1 billion KDPS. Sign up.
I mean, I can explain it to you, not in the chat, if you prefer Mellow.
Ooh, what does he mean by that, chat?
He means Cordicus mana. That's what he means.
No, ARA. Come
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
I know how
ARA.
to do
Okay.
DBT.
All right. Yeah. He's high. He's he goes for the high end stuff.
Wait, have we ever duoed ARA before?
No,
That's crazy.
we gotta fix that.
After LCM dies.
Yeah. After the CM dies, you guys can duo.
Big.
The team that finishes first gets to play Ellie though. That's the reward. That's the prize. Yeah. Blades one is unique because it has 20% increased damage against a target with above 80% health. Do you have tactics or Reaper with target below 50%? But that's pretty much it. I mean, stuff like that is like this class, like that would be a really cool thing to do with Reaper. Like, and funnily enough, like Reaper could potentially be really exciting on a fight like URA, right? Where you spend a lot of time below 50% health, right? Because the way the fight works mechanically. So that's, that is a way you could kind of do it. Like if Reaper was like the Omega Execute class, then that could be big.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
people
we
are
should
thinking about
all,
like Deadeye, right? But
yeah.
the Deadeye just doesn't work on the fight.
That's just all stock, I don't know, Bolt of the Heart, Hammer, Tempest with Eagle, Relic.
Yeah, next patch, 1 billion KDPS.
Big.
Isn't Final Fantasy 14 struggling at the moment with the slaves? I mean, I don't know anything about 14. I was kind of speaking mostly to WoW there. And, despite, like, obviously people complain about balance in WoW, and trust me, there have been major issues that have existed in that game, that's for sure. But in general, I think they actually do a pretty decent job of, like, making each class function in a pretty damn different way. And therefore, they kind of have their little special thing that they can do, right? Like, with all that kind of stuff.
Nika brings up a good point. I like how like the boss can randomly get a boon and Reaper just becomes unviable when otherwise it would be like a perfect pick somewhere.
It can get,
Pretty good.
I mean, Aura just gets Fury, right? I guess it's not good.
I mean, you can't strip it.
Yeah, feels bad. Yeah, I guess that is a weird trait, actually, isn't it? Like it's the axe trait,
But what
right?
if she jumps? Thoughts?
Yeah.
What if she jumps? Guys, I've got a quick suggestion here. Have you tried jumping the boss on top of a Sulfuric to destroy it? Okay, that seems like some tech there, That's some, like, brand new technology you guys can try out.
I think the boss does that on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like, oh, you're having a good run? Good one.
This is unrelated, guys, but, like, I fucking love this shit. Like, the Assassin's Creed Twitter just annihilated Elon Musk. It's very funny, actually, and I am an enjoyer of that. They're popping off, guys. I don't know if their latest game is good. I have no fucking idea. But whoever's running the social media account is based. Okay, that's all I can say. Oh, no, wait. It's probably a Ubisoft game, right? So it's probably not good if we're going to be honest here, guys. But I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah.
Somebody make a joke about Guild Wars 2 in the chat, please.
Wait, why specifically Guild Wars 2?
It's like we're like talking bad about other companies and games. Somebody has to say it in the chat.
Incredible. Spell, that's the kind of thing that would be really fun. Like, for example, wouldn't it be really cool if in PvE, if you corrupted a boon, it actually gave like a zillion condies, so it was like a relevant part of your DPS, like an extra, like, 1 or 2,000. I feel that'd be super cool, right? So when you got a corrupt on Scourge, it was like really big, it was like really rewarding when you actually nailed that.
Yeah, I'm down. Buff Scourge.
Yeah, something like that could be really fun. Or same on Spellbreaker, right? Like Spellbreaker already has a trait that says you do damage when you remove a boon. Like make that trait really strong. It's like that the whole Spellbreaker part of Spellbreaker is like really, really powerful, right? I think stuff like that could be really fun for balance.
Yeah, Spellbreaker is awkward, isn't it? Because like you have like these like skills that say like, oh yeah, this skill does like triple the amount.
Yeah.
Of
When there's a boon, yeah.
But then also at the same time, you have like multiple traits that say, yeah, when you hit people with boons, you do less damage. Like, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, go play a Spellbreaker on Kadim and enjoy your minus 10% damage that you get.
Here's a funny thing though. Would you guys have rather had Greer LCM than Ura
Yes.
LCM? That's the question.
Greer's my favorite fight, honestly. Like, in the whole game. It's so good.
Greer is high tier, actually. I would want to see Greer Omega mode. And it just... honestly, you know what would be based, actually? They should add Greer LCM, and they should openly say, yeah, this boss is impossible, it can't be done. And, like, the only purpose of the fight, there's no reward or achievement, and it's just, like, Greer wins. Like, you can't beat him. He just wins.
Yeah, so in, like, 10 years' time... In 10 years' time, when the balance is like...
Exactly, yeah, you have to wait for like 10 expansions worth of power creep. And then finally Greer goes down. Yeah. Dude, you know what? Okay, think about this is based, right? Whenever Greer says, I cannot be defeated, he just kills the group. Like, yeah, he can't be defeated. You just wipe. Yeah, I mean, he's just telling the truth, right? He actually cannot be defeated. And actually, they should do it in a really funny way. Whenever he says that, he summons like 50 Greerlings. So it's like 50 E-Regs. Just like, yes, yeah, yeah. He says, I cannot be defeated. He digs into the ground, digs up 50 Greerlings, and they just obliterate you. And there's like no counterplay to it. Yeah. And then he just says all of his lines. Like, Greer rots you. Or like, yeah, foredoomed you have always been. And he just smashes you.
It's my favorite
honestly,
line.
what I thought was gonna happen in this LCM is either URA actually gets a humanoid form, like full-on humanoid form.
Oh, really? Because you're a fucking
like
Guna.
Booba,
Yeah.
Yeah, Booba and everything. Or she was gonna summon Decima and Greer.
I mean, I was definitely considering that. Is that there'd be like mechanics from the other guys that would show up there as well.
Yeah, you see that trope in other games like a ton, but
Yeah.
not so much in this game.
Yeah, it didn't really happen. Oh, this... Look, I wish ArenaNet would do stuff like this. I wonder if they have the technology to do this. Wouldn't it be really funny if they just added Greer CM? You know the Titan meta? They just replaced Decima with Decima CM. And they replace Greer with Greer CM in the open world. Just, like, see what happens. Like, see if people can kill it, even with, like, 50 people.
They should do that for April Fools.
Wait. Do we think 50 open world frogmen defeat Greer CM? I don't think so. In fact, there's no fucking shot.
That's no hard counter.
Yeah, I feel like Greer CM... Okay. How many open world froggers do you need to kill Greer CM? Like how many bodies you have to throw at it? Like, ignore the map cap. How many would you need? Like, you just like throw them. You just, like, throw more and more of them, like, at the boss.
They will die instantly.
Yeah.
I can't.
The boss will have, like, 50 stacks, like, within the first minute of the fight.
They just make it so you can only join one map, and they're all in the same one.
They're all in the same map. And it's just, like, you join... Wait, they should... Holy shit. Imagine they hotwire the game. Like, if you log on April 1st, you can't join any map except Greer CM. Like, and everyone who logs into the game is just locked in this room with Greer CM. They're just in there. And you have to fight him.
Would lose.
Yeah. And then Greer is just there, just pumping.
Like, the plague rot would win.
Oh my god, it would just, like, spread to everyone. Oh, no.
Yeah, you can't win.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. That would be huge.
They should actually do stuff like this for April Fools. It would be so funny.
So wait, let's think about it. If the average open world Peepo does 5k DPS, like, how many open world players do you need to kill Greer? It's quite a lot, actually. And that's assuming they do 5k, right? Like, 5k
if
is...
it doesn't scale, if the boss doesn't scale, or maybe it caps at like 100 or something, right? You throw like 1,000 Peepos at it. An actual army of like Char and Asuras.
Yeah, they're just in. Here's the thing, it isn't 5k, it's 2k. They actually nerfed the Titan meta. Can you guys believe that? They nerfed it by 25%, by the way. That's crazy. They destroyed it. They destroyed Greer and Decima in the open world. Man, you know what? Okay, think how sick this would be. Imagine they drop convergent CMs and they're actually hard, and there's like race towards first convergent CM. Holy fuck! Oh my god, that would be so fucking good. And we could have like, well, oh, I was gonna say we could do EU versus NA, but like that's not gonna happen,
NA
right?
would never win.
Yeah, like
I
NA
was
has
about
like
to say
10
this.
people, right? Like who can like actually do DPS, right? So that's not gonna happen. But dude, we could get like all the EU guilds in one squad. That'd be so fucking sick, bro.
Yeah,
Holy
I mean,
shit.
look at this race and tell me that's fair, alright?
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh man, it'll be so good. Loaded at starting the game for the first time with the patch. Also happened to all the new players booting the game for the first time, being someone together couldn't even damage enemies. That is content. That is the kind of bug that is actually kind of content. Yeah. Oh man. I do hope that the I wonder if they will cook a little bit with the convergent CMs. Like, because I do quite like quite like convergences. It's a real shame about the pre-event though.
Did they say that they're
Are they
adding
not
more?
out yet? I actually don't know.
No, they're next patch. Next patch. I think they're all dropping at the same time as well, because URA Convergence is dropping next patch, and then it will be the CMs at the same time is also dropping, and the Fractal as well. Surely the Fractal's good, right, guys? Right?
If it's not a CM fractal, I bet it's good.
I actually look. I completely agree with you here, Grim. I think committing to a CM, major mistake actually. I think they should just focus on making a good fucking dungeon, yeah? And like, don't worry about the CM, make a good dungeon. Put it in the game, boom. Make it something that you go, you know...
my dungeon propaganda.
Yeah, yeah. And just make it so when you see it in the daily rotation, you're actually like, you know what? Man, this is going to be fun. This is going to be good, right? This is a good day. You know what I mean? As opposed to like when you see it and you go like, oh, fuck me. Like, do I really want to do this fractal? No. Like, you want something to be actually happy about when you see it in the rotation. And I feel like that has... I feel like that hasn't really connected. That hasn't happened for a while, right? Like when there's like a, a new fractal added to the game. Yeah. Huge.
Maybe they should just add a new type of content with a new name. They haven't done that in a while, right?
Yeah, that seems like a good thing. We have to wait till the next expansion for that. They're gonna rename. They're not gonna add a raid or a strike. It's gonna be something entirely new, right? Like that's coming next X pack.
Let's call them expeditions.
Yeah,
right?
that's New World, bro. Literally
or
New World.
Adventures or something.
Well, we already have adventures.
We have adventures.
We already have that, yeah.
Yeah. Someone come up with a name in the chat to get 50 gold.
Yeah. What about raids?
Dragon response
Ooh,
mission.
raids.
DRMs.
Who came up with the name DRM? So weird.
I don't know. ArenaNet have a weird way of naming things. They really do. Titan response missions. Rifts.
No, but I don't want Titans anymore.
Rifts. Let's add rifts, guys.
Excursions, yeah.
Rifts. I love rifting.
What if they add dungeons to the game?
And that is an option. They could do that.
Maybe I'll get to go back to doing dungeons then.
Yeah.
Oh, Strikes Embassy. That's an old combo right there.
Strikes Embassy. I mean, Embassy's back in WoW. I think it's inevitable. Mela will eventually sniff the syrup, I think.
He comes into my chat and is like, oh, I quit WoW. I hate it. And then like a week later, he's like, oh, I'm drinking the syrup, boy. Log in.
He has no fucking reason to complain, dude. Like, he was crying because Rogue was not God comp. It was only like half God comp last season. But now Rogue is really, really good. There's no reason to cry for him whatsoever. Like, he should just be pumping. He should be sending. He should be roguing. He needs to log in. I'm doing an Ecto gamble, by the way, guys.
Ooh, you got a big roll.
Oh, dude, I got fucked.
25.
Holy shit. Okay. Alright, I'll do one more. I'll do one more. Oh my god, I got fucked again. That's... Okay.
By the way, I have an actual rule for Ecto gambling.
Oh, yeah?
When, let's say you're doing a raid and you drop like double ascended, or you get like one of the rare items and ascended, like when you roll big on something else, I do a gamble and I've always won.
Wow. Every time?
Every time.
Wow. Impressive.
But you have to do it like instantly right after. Actual infinite money glitch.
You know, actually, how do you guys feel that how do you guys feel about Condimec? Are you enjoying Condimec?
No.
How does it feel that Condimec is fucking top DPS?
At least it's not power.
I don't like mech.
Yeah. How do you feel if power mech becomes top DPS? Okay, imagine this. Okay, imagine this. It's a balanced live stream preview. Okay, Trig is there. Trig, Brooks, CMC, Roy Marks. And then all of a sudden, halfway through, like, Trig rips off his fucking face. It's a mask the entire time, and it's Solar. It was him the entire time.
Yeah,
it was him. He announces, like, blanket 50% buffs to every mech spec, and it's just him. And it was him the entire time as well. And then Roy does the same, and it's also Solar. And he's like, he's actually like cloned himself or like imprinted himself into every ArenaNet staff member. Grout shows up, ArenaNet leader, it's Solar as well. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you fuckers back for like canning me, okay? I'm gonna get revenge. This is my game now.
Yeah, he's gonna hunt all the people from the Discord one by one.
Do you think he'll leave us for last, or will he deal with us first?
I'm definitely first.
I hope I'm last.
Yeah.
You wanna watch us all die?
Yeah. I'll enjoy it.
Trig should have given a shout out to Nitro for the mech buffs. That is true, actually. Like, Trig has a number of members of the player base that he could shout out at any time. Like, wait, did he mention Lone Cap during the Warrior buffs? He actually didn't for, like, the Rifle Warrior buffs, but he should have done. I'm sure he's aware of Lone Cap. He's, like, a guy who only plays Rifle Warrior. Only Rifle Warrior. He is a main for that spec,
We'll call it Captain Crapfist.
Ah, yes. Well, look, look. He doesn't like kiting. He doesn't like no-port spots. He's not a no-port spot enjoyer. That's fair enough,
Not.
He is not an enjoyer of using the counterplay. Man, that was actually such an interesting video, to be honest. I actually considered responding to it, but I realized I actually don't care. Because, like, the thing is that it's actually really interesting. It's actually interesting perspective. I'm actually not going to shit on the guy. Like, his perspective is that, no-port spots are, like, unintended and therefore should be removed from the game. But what's actually really interesting, to give like an actual measured, like, no bullshit, let's take that claim seriously. The truth is that the game evolved with these no-port spots. It's actually like weapon stowing. Like, weapon stowing was not an intended feature of the game. Neither was dodge jumping. But the devs saw it and went, oh, that's actually kind of cool. We're going to leave that in the game. We're not going to remove that. And the same is very much true of no-port spots. The devs watched what players did in response to things like Thief and interacting with Steel, or teleports of any kind, like, Judge's Intervention and so on. And ArenaNet saw the fact that, oh yeah, players are using these bits of terrain that have no valid path to them, and they're using that as counterplay, and the game evolved around that. So, and yeah, this is a very good point, by the way. Like, the idea that they're not intended is not true, because if you actually look at the newer maps, if you look at Capricorn, if you look at Colosseum, they literally added no-port spots into the game, like, specifically for this reason. So, it's actually both ahistoric and incorrect based on, like, newer information. Like, using no-port spots as a counterplay to teleportation abilities and the mobility and kiting is absolutely intended gameplay. But I think it's really interesting because I believe Captain Crapface is actually a relatively new player to the game, as far as I'm aware. And I think it's so interesting that this happens a lot. I feel like many new players who join Guild Wars 2 are very misinformed about the game because they don't have the history. And in a lot of ways, a lot of the history of the game has been lost in such a strange way. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know that Guild Wars 2 used to be a hardcore PvP game, because it absolutely was. That's how it was originally designed. People don't know that anymore, right? Which is so interesting that people don't know this. And it's the exact same thing with, like, the history of weapon stowing, the history of like dodge jumping, no-port spots, like, and like the way that PvP has been designed and balanced. People are just not aware of this history. So I almost can't give Captain Crapface too much shit because he just wasn't here for that and nobody told him about it, right? So how is he supposed to know that actually, no, this is actually how the game has been designed. This is what the game is balanced around. And to say so, it's not actually an opinion. It's simply factually wrong, right? Like, it's incorrect to say that the devs don't design the game around no-port spots, because they absolutely do, as they consistently have added them intentionally on new PvP maps, right? That they've added. I don't know. It's super interesting. So I honestly do find perspectives like Captain Crafts to be fascinating. You know, it's so interesting because it's like, yeah, I can understand how he would come to that conclusion, because if you ask other PvP players, they aren't going to have that knowledge, because most players are either are new, right? And you know, therefore don't have knowledge of the history of the game, or simply don't understand the game very well mechanically. So unless you actually go to a PvP streamer, right, or you get involved in a Discord or something like that, you're actually not gonna know important historical context about the way the game is balanced. Like, you're just not gonna know how to do this. Like, holy shit. Like, and now to go full empathy mode here, like, imagine playing against Willbender and not knowing about no-port spots. In that video, Captain Crapface, he says, I have never gone to a no-port spot intentionally. And again, let's actually engage with that. Holy fuck, the game's unplayable. Like, oh my god. Like, no joke. You can't do that, right? Like, that's... What is that even like? How do I draw an analogy to that in PvE? You're ignoring, like, a fundamental mechanic, right, of the game. You can't do that. In PvP. And yeah, the game is probably horrible if you play it that way. And there's actually some legitimate criticism there, I think, that you can engage with. Like, if the game is unplayable without a relatively hidden mechanic, kind of, then that actually is a little bit of a problem. That is a little bit of a problem, and I can understand that frustration. Because yeah, if you play against Willbender without using no-port spots, bro, you're going 0-9. Like, you're gonna get farmed. Like, just again and again and again. You're gonna be useless. Same versus, like, a thief, like, versus a daredevil. You have zero counterplay if you don't use the mechanics. So it's really interesting. I love watching videos like this. I think he was a little bit angry at me in that video, because he is basically referring to some comments that I made about, like, yeah, counterplay to Willbender in that video. But look, if you end up seeing this clip, dude, it's nothing personal, my friend. Don't worry. It's not a big deal.
It's interesting that he wants it removed, though. Right?
Yeah, it is.
Wouldn't you think, like, he's like,
yeah.
Oh, that's how you're supposed to counterplay that? Well, that's kind of stupid, but, like, at least it exists.
Yeah, at least there is counterplay, right? Like, at least there is some counterplay
I didn't watch the video, so I may be, like, misconstruing his point or something. But...
Oh, no, he specifically says that all no-port spots should be removed. Or, like no-port should not be a thing in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that make Willbender better? Like...
Well, then he would say you'd have to, like, he would say that would justify, like, more aggressive nerfs, right? Essentially, is like the point he's going for.
I mean, yeah, that's.
And actually, more specifically, by the way, and this is, I think, this is where I would really disagree, just from a game design perspective. In that, he basically says that ports are inherently overpowered, basically, like teleportation abilities, because of the way that they work, and that they should. And honestly, like, if there is. He basically wants all of them to be like the Untamed one. So you can't, like, do it with an ability, right? You can't chain it with another skill.
Yeah, there's a lot of opinions like that nowadays. Like, you know, Blink shouldn't be instant cast. Like, invuln should all be channeled. Like, that's, you know, you were talking about newer player takes, but I get a lot of, like, new players, a lot of my PvE friends, like, they get into PvP and they're like, why can a Mesmer attack, you know, with Distort up? And it's like, this is not a take that, like, used to be a thing, right?
Yeah, because that's just the way, that's how the game was balanced, right? It is really interesting.
Like...
And I really do think this is so much like, this is showing the knowledge gap, because I think when you run into something like that for the first time, it's, like, intensely frustrating, right? And you don't really understand, like, how to play against it. But I think this is a really big problem with Guild Wars 2 being so low information. And I think the low information nature of the game is why PvP really, really struggles. Because if you don't know things in Guild Wars 2 PvP, the game is not going to be fun for you. And if it's really hard to get that information, you're going to quit, right? Like, you will quit. You will not continue playing. if that information is not obtainable in some kind of way. And that's why I think that a really big issue with PvP is actually the death of the content creation scene, the death of the streamers, right? Like the death of YouTube and Twitch in Guild Wars 2, because all of a sudden that information is so much harder to come by, right? Like you can't just run into this. And now we're in this crazy situation where, to put it bluntly, the blind are leading the blind. You now essentially have misinformed people becoming the source of information for new players. And, well, you can see where that's going to go. Hell, you can see where that goes in real life, to be honest, right? Like, it's not good when you have misinformation starting to dominate the conversation around Guild Wars 2. And this has always been an issue with the game, but that's an issue with every game, let's be real. That's not unique to Guild Wars 2. But I think over time, it's become more and more severe. And now I feel like it's a very major problem. In both PvP and PvE, like, misinformation is almost, like, taking over. All of the conversation about like the game's mechanics and so on.
You're the last line of defense.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I'm gonna hop off, guys. Thanks for the chat.
Yep, see ya. Get some sleep. Enjoy more grinding tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes. It's now Grim time, guys.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
He's here. He's activated.
Fun fact, I was never on the tea time.
That is true. We'll have to bring it back just for that. Yeah. Isn't the misinfo dispelled if people actually play and learn the game? Like the drive to learn the actual game will show them how the game works. Yeah, and some people will make it through that, but obviously, like, you lose people in that process, right? Like, you're absolutely right. But yeah, but you are going to lose people that way. And worst case scenario, people find sources of information that are incorrect. And again, not to call out Captain Crapface, but he's actually wrong about this, right? And not in an opinion sense, he's actually incorrect. The idea that no port spots are like not intended to be counterplay to these types of abilities is factually incorrect. I want to be clear. It's like that's not an opinion. That's wrong. The devs do intend this to be, and you can see that with how they design the maps, right? The newer maps, and the fact that they're completely aware of this and they haven't removed it, right? Well, that's slightly weaker evidence because sometimes ArenaNet, they don't fix things. But if you look at Capricorn, if you look at Colosseum, if you look at new map, Jin's Dominion, right? Like, yes, they actively added this stuff. There are, and also, by the way, the examples of no ports are really obvious ones. They're not all like jank out of bounds. Like a bunch of the terrain on Colosseum, like the crates around the side nodes, yeah, that's no port. The pillars in the middle of the arena, yeah, that's no port. That it's not a mistake. It's not an accident. It's intentional. But the issue is that, of course, how does a new player know if that information is correct or not? I think it's really difficult for them to determine that, because if they come to my stream, I can present that evidence. I can explain why, opinions regarding no ports are misinformed. They are incorrect. But a new player has no way of discerning that. Like, how do they know that actually it is intended and it's not unintentional, right? You know what I mean? It is what it is. Silhouette Gaming here, who also recently dropped a nuke on the patch. What would happen if those changes happen? Can't attack while the store, all ports like Untamed. Would it be worse? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, people would just find other things to complain about realistically. Like, the thing is in PvP games is that there's always gonna be like some gnarly shit in the game that you're gonna run into. And I also don't think it would actually change the game that much. If I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of blinks in the game. Not a lot of classes like really thrive on blink casting stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's mostly just guard, right? Like with judges is the thing that like really does that.
Well, I mean, Guardian now, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that there is something to be said for that. That can be pretty frustrating when it's a CC. Like, like the Spear 5 interaction is a bit spicy, to be honest. But it's not that different to say like the hammer precast, right? Like you can like hammer precast with the wall, right? You can hammer precast with, like the slam and do a lot of damage with that.
I actually don't get the complaints about the CC, especially when it comes to Willbender, because like, this is like a bit rambly, but like basically if the Willbender JI is onto you, right, with Spear 5, he gets quite literally nothing out of that exchange, because the Willbender has no CC on the kit at all outside of that. So if like you just stun break, you go for one. They're 2 skills down though, like 2 really strong skills down.
Yeah.
And you lost a skill that actually contributes nothing at all because they have no other CC.
Yeah.
So like
So it doesn't
JI
matter, yeah.
Spiel 5 literally does nothing unless they recognize that you're out of stun breaks, in which case, you know, I mean, that's healthy for the game, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You deserve to die when you're out of stun breaks.
Yeah.
So
What's the current
Yeah, I
LCM best?
really
Guys,
don't
you
get
there's
that
literally a leaderboard on the screen right now. Like, look, read, look at numbers. But yeah, like obviously some people will find that. And also the issue is, Weef, is that there are fewer and fewer sources of like accurate information in the game. Like, because look, not to put too fine a point on it, but at the end of the day, yeah, most of the correct information sources have kind of quit the game, right? Especially when it comes to PvP. There's definitely good information about PvE, but it's like weirdly, the PvE community is like weirdly segmented. Like you don't really have this overlap. I think that's kind of like the death of the pug scene is like a really big thing there. And just like veterans like becoming more and more distant and playing a little bit less. You don't really have this interaction between like experienced players and this culture of engagement between different groups of players. Everyone is very kind of like segmented off into their own little silo, so you don't really have information transfer nearly as much as you used to in Guild Wars 2. So like across the board there's just less correct information and less interaction between newer players and like more experienced and knowledgeable players about the game. But yeah.
yeah, like PvE is all Discord focused, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're not in like high-end Discord, like there is nowhere for you to learn really. PvP is similar for Twitch, but it's probably a bit more accessible, honestly.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, streams are good. I think a really big strength of, I feel like World of Warcraft actually, is that there's a big culture of engagement with streamers. So, like, okay, this happens all the time for better or for worse. Like, for example, there's this dungeon skip that's been found where you do like a wall jump. Okay, it got posted to YouTube by like there was like a Chinese group figured out, I think. And it got posted on all like the YouTubes, on all the YouTube channels, like people who like are involved in this stuff. And guess what? If you go in Pugs now, every single fucker is trying it. Okay, and they fuck it up, right? Because it's not trivial to do. But if you go in Pugs, a bunch of people now try this stuff because there is this like really big culture that people are engaged. They are actively seeking out information. They're looking for stuff, right? I know the Cinderbrew one, Darren's like the wall jump. Before the end boss on Cinderbrew. And yeah, like people are engaged with this and like, you know, you just join Pugs and people like have a go at it and then they give up when they can't do it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Dude, never mind EOD strike normal mode. Bro, Greer normal mode Pugs. That's just unplayable, no? Like, how do you clear that? It's a 10-minute enrage in Pugs. You're not going to get that. You're not going to clear that.
And they didn't increase it this patch.
Yeah, they didn't, actually. It feels bad.
It's not happening for like ages.
Yep, it doesn't exist. Yeah. It's big. Oh, shit.
At least we have like a hard normal mode fight.
Yeah. NM. NM is here. Greer. I like the idea of that. I like that Greer normal mode probably has like significantly lower success rate than a lot of CMs right now. Oh, Silhouette, look, you better be ready to buy, man. Like, the prices on this LCM is going to be high. Like, you're going to have to spend a lot of cash for this.
Yeah, we were 7-manning Greer normal mode because we needed an URA instance, and we were like, wait, we can't kill the boss.
Yeah.
We died to Enrage.
The Enrage, I mean, yeah, it's pretty rough Enrage.
It's a good one.
Greer. Dude, World vs. Wood is so epic. Do you know why World vs. Wood is good? This is actually a big thing about the game mode, is that any player can feel insanely good, because you just run into peepos and you farm them. Like, if you're a peepo, bear in mind, guys, there's always a smaller and slightly less wrinkled peepo in World vs. World. You've always got to remember that. And that means that you can always have a good time. And that's good. It's the way it should be. I'm dead. It's over. The support chrono was too much. Yeah. 5 years until the EU sellers have it on sleep mode. NA can't even sell HTCM. And surely there's still sellers on NA. There's 100% there's sellers on NA. I didn't even check the LFG when I was over there.
Buyers on NA.
Well, I mean, do people just transfer to EU to buy and then just go back?
People just prefer to do that because the prices are lower.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's hard for like groups on NA, like newer cell groups, to like stick together. Like you'll list and you just won't have any interest because like a lot of the buyers, they either go to EU or they buy from the same guild that they've always bought from.
Yeah. Daily reminder that Silhouette has a guide on how to buy raids. I mean, that's just, yeah, that's the way it is. He has the guide. Buyers. I do like that they tried to make the God's Bane title pretty cell-proof, or as cell-proof as they can make it. And that was a nice touch. By giving like a bunch of individual challenges too. Sebelsaw, thanks for the prime.
I really don't like the design of that because I feel like I grief the group when I try to go for my achievement.
Yeah, it is like that for sure, yeah. Because you're like, oh, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just gonna, you know, dodge every single shockwave, you know. Ooh, yeah. Like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I still don't have the Ceres one.
Oh, the dodge one? Oh, I'm not sure if I have that one either, actually. Yeah, because it feels so wrong to do that because it's like, you know, there's almost like no reason to dodge a lot of the time, right? And then the game is like saying, well, you better do it. I don't think I have it.
Yep. I almost got it once. Someone griefed me at 2% and then I just
Brutal.
haven't really gone for it since.
Oh, what? Oh? Oh, yeah, I don't have it, yeah. I don't have Unbounded Optimism. Unlucky.
We can do it together. With
5
AP.
AP.
It's busted.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking
Just
of
get,
God's
like,
Bane
everyone else
title,
to carry us.
let's see, what do we got? Oh, the shockwave bugs? Yeah, there's like some wacky bugs there where the shockwave can look really weird. The best reward. Oh, yeah, the reward tracks are different now, aren't they? I haven't even looked at this.
Yeah, apparently the EOD one is like 50 gold and it's repeatable.
Oh, shit. Wait, what's in it? Like the Canther one?
I think the badges, the Lamplighter badges.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it. I don't have like potions because you know you don't really get them anymore.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, I rip potions, man. Those were good. Feels bad.
I still have them, but I'm saving them for the next expansion. Like
Hold on, let me just open the LFG.
Until I'm out.
EXP HDCM prog. Oh. HDCM prog run, looking for more. Oh. Hold on, let me just open the LFG.
What is the resolution on this clip, Lord?
EXP HDCM prog. Oh. HDCM prog run, looking for more. Oh. Static recruitment. Alright, nice. The raids. Static recruiting. Selling raids. Ooh, selling raids. Ooh, selling raids. Ooh, selling HDCM. NA price is too high. Get your title achievements on EU for the cheapest prices
what are you will find. There's no
Even
way.
with
Are you
transfer
serious?
fees included.
Dude, there is a sell LFG on NA actively advertising that people should go to EU. That's pretty funny.
It works too. That's the worst part. It works.
You love to see it, guys. Incredible. Undercut the competition. I mean, look, you know, that's the problem, though. EU was a little bit too aggressive in that. Because NA, and look, We need one day. Yummy Sauce will come back. And the thing is that so many of you guys don't even know who Yummy Sauce is, which is, it's a tragedy in and of itself. But NA actually outperformed the EU so hard when Yummy was in charge, to be honest. Because Yummy, he just had like an iron hold. He ruled like the raid selling scene with an iron fist, right? Like he had insane prices on NA. And he, I don't know, he just managed to pull it off somehow. He had that charm, he had that charisma, he was a salesman, right? He was a very nice guy, very wholesome with the buyers. You get the buyers on TeamSpeak and like tell them not to forget their loot, right? And not to forget their achievements and stuff. And EU actually fucked up. The EU raid sell scene was insanely cutthroat. They were like making, dude, I would get sent meme videos. They were like making fun of each other and shit. They were undercutting. They were like backstabbing each other. It was pretty wild. To be fair, it might not be like that anymore, but that's when, you know, back in the day, like in HOT and stuff, it was pretty crazy. But NA, like the prices were just way higher. They were way higher and there was like a cabal. They just organized the prices and EU just competed itself into the dirt. Do you recall that Reddit post, actually? Holy shit. Do you recall the Reddit post of the guy saying that the highest price you should charge for a raid is like 1 gold?
I do remember that one.
That was funny.
Based, yeah.
That was incredibly funny, actually. Because he basically did the math and said, well, you know, this is how much food is going to cost for this raid kill, and this is how much gold you get from like the champ bags. Therefore, you should only be charging like 1 gold for a kill. Very funny.
Meanwhile, we're charging 4K for a Samurai Axiom.
Hell yeah. Oh, week 1 sales were the best. That was actually so fucking good. Oh, I remember like the week after we killed Zera, we sold it for 1,000 gold. Oh, it was so good. Ah, yes. Yes. That's how it needs to be. Celestial Power for Harbinger. I'm playing Power right now. Power Gaming. Nemesis Return? I don't think Nemesis is ever coming back. Maybe he'll come back for Guild Wars 3. Are you hyped for Guild Wars 3, Grim? You ready for, you know, ArenaNet to make a new game?
I think I'm like the most anti-Guild Wars 3 person there possibly could be.
How does it feel when ArenaNet was like, ooh, new expansion model, okay, we're ready to go, Guild Wars 2, and then bam, it's immediately onto other projects. That's that.
It's a classic.
There is a bit of a classic, actually. It is a classic, yeah.
In retrospect, should have seen it coming.
I suppose so. Yeah, because I admit I did get baited a little bit. I thought, okay, we're doing a new model, like we're revitalizing, we're going big on Guild Wars 2, and it appears that may not end up being the case, but it is what it is. Guild Wars 3, guys.
Yeah, but at least I'll get to keep all my legendaries in Guild Wars.
True! They'll do full carryover. Oh, man. Yeah, that's big. Like, do you know what my biggest hope is? And I've actually got some worry about this. I really hope there's actually PvP in Guild Wars 3. Because I actually really like PvP in Guild Wars 2. But, it's kind of dead, right? It's... I have one team for my PvP tournament, right? Like, the other teams, they do not exist, and they don't want to log in. And you know what? That's fair. I'm not going to hold that against people. It is what it is. I just really hope there's PvP. I want PvP in Guild Wars 3, big time. Otherwise, I'm going to be sad. Because I really want a PvP MMO. I might try it in WoW a little bit, but I feel like it's not going to be the same, because I really like Conquest. But I feel like they wouldn't do Conquest in Guild Wars 3, actually. Oof. Yeah, that could be rough.
I mean, surely they just do World versus World with, like, some dual option. Right?
That would be good enough. Yeah, I'd be fine with that, actually.
Option, but
yeah,
not, like,
yeah.
a whole fleshed out thing.
Yeah, I will be fine with that, actually. Yo, Lara! Welcome back from your trip. Look, Lara's chat. Lara has to come and cast the Race Worlds personally tomorrow, right? Come on, guys. Yes? Let's go. URA CM. Look, we had Brazil on today. We're talking to Grim now. We had Mela on. We're going to get Lara on. Surely we're going to make that happen.
I missed Brazil.
Oh, yeah. Brazil. Yeah, while you guys were pulling, actually. We had Brazil on, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's been, he's kind of floating around a little bit. He's been kind of pursuing, you know, his career, and of course, like real life stuff. He's been getting into music, which is really, really cool, and still doing photography, right? It's pretty based. I have 0 insights. Look, did I just say, whoa, oh my God, they picked up the shard. Oh my God. Look, that's what you got to do. That's how you cast this stuff. Yeah. Big damage. They will kill maybe. I don't know. You just have to point things out and go like, whoa, look at those Condi mechs. Ooh.
Well, if you say they're not going to make it based on the enrage timer, you'll have a 100% success rate.
Yeah, like that is a good call. That's a good call to make as of right now. Man, I am really hoping that, like, if ArenaNet change it, I hope they actually do a post tomorrow. In fact, I really do. They should do a post tomorrow. Because let's be real, the devs right now, the encounter designers, they know, right? They are aware of the situation. You know, they're not like completely asleep at the wheel, right? That would be ridiculous. They should do a post tomorrow. I really hope they do. Need to get Bog Otter to do a tweet. Okay, needs to activate. Needs to slam one. Oh, 20 seconds on the enrage. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it will be so fucking funny. Okay, I'm just imagining this scenario. Like, SC goes to bed, LN goes to bed as well. It's like 1 a.m. NA is like just back from the lunch break, and then ArenaNet nukes it, and it's boom, ERP2 all over again. Like, bam, the memes are back. Okay, we get the GIF out again. Oh, man. It's good. Yeah. They're shouting, I'm converging. Help in any way? Look, one day, we are going to convince Lara to say something like that. Either, I'm rifting! Or, I'm converging! Ah! It's going to happen, guys. Don't resist. Oh, man. Yeah, the ads in the last phase, Grim already talked about this, but the ads in the last phase, they have a lot of health, you know? They're not that killable.
Yeah, we actually did get so desperate. We were like, let's kill it, see if we get time. Like, maybe we have to, like, combo kill them, and it's really tight. Like, you kill one at 1 second left, you get 2 minutes, then it takes another 2 minutes to kill one. Like, and you barely, like, hang on. But, yeah, it's not viable.
23% is that enrage. You could say they died to a soft enrage, not the hard enrage. There were basically like so many of these little ads up that were just blasting where they weren't able to survive anymore. And of course they were running out of room at the same time. I believe the 23% wipe from SC was at 37 seconds left on the enrage. So not hard enrage, but they were kind of brushing up into like essentially the soft enrage mechanic, because like more and more enemies keep spawning there and you have like less and less room to fight stuff in.
Yeah, have you seen how much damage those things do?
Yeah, they slap you, and there's gonna be a lot of them up.
Yeah, so like we fought like 2 for like a minute, and it was like 20% of the total damage people took.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute fight. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But they do. I think they do stop spawning. I don't know if the boss stops spawning Titan spawns, but Titan spawns can only spawn 5 ads, and then they stop spawning from that specific one. So
yeah, I mean it's very similar to, I imagine it's exactly how Sloth is, right? In that it's probably hard coded. In fact, well, we can probably infer that every single spawn is hard coded. Because they spawn in, you know, deterministic locations, right? Like every single time with all the geysers. The Titan spawns less so, they have like an RNG spawn, right? But they're in set locations. So a lot of it probably is just like, oh yeah, now it spawns. So yeah, eventually they probably will stop happening, right? Towards the end of the fight, there'll be like a last one, and then yeah, you just don't have any more of these. React to this legendary clip?
Glad to, yeah, this potentially...
Oh, fuck.
I must go.
Yep, I'll see ya. Ah, yes. Judy calls.
It does.
Oh, wait, you're going? You're going, actually?
Just for a little bit.
Okay. Well, you gonna stream?
Don't think so.
Okay. Ooh. There you have it. Well, good luck. What if like, the pressure rises so high she just pops like a balloon? Yeah, dude, maybe if she gets to 20 stacks, the boss instantly dies. That's worth a shot. Secret Cook? Well, it's maybe Narsen streaming, actually. Oh, no, I think Narsen actually is streaming. He actually is, so we can watch. Well, I'm gonna leech Narsen stream if they do some pulls, and we'll stick around for a little bit longer. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Oh no. This is bad. We have mass gamers. This is not good. We are in a bad situation, guys. There's a lot of goons. It's over. I am, but it's nothing. I'm torturing 20 people by clearing my inventory. Well, I mean, you guys are about to send, right? You guys are about to pump. So, yeah, we might get some Narsen POV, NA POV. Wow, dude. Silhouette, wait, I feel like you have become... Okay, dude, I feel like I've almost got to call you. I feel like you've become a full Doomer. Right? That's what it seems like. You've become a full apocalypse mode Doomer. What happened? I'm not? I just feel like you're full doom. You've been completely, you've gone full despair. It feels like all of your videos are just nukes. Yeah. Bro, you compared the latest release to the tunnel, didn't you? In your latest video, didn't you say it's like the tunnel? I feel like you did. It's your algorithm? Wait, how is it my algorithm? I'm subscribed to your channel. Shit, it's the druid. Let's get him. I'm blinding him. As the entangle. Oh boy. This is bad, actually. This is really bad. I need more Connie cleanse. Ooh, that's a rough interrupt. Oh, I'm definitely dead here. Holy shit. I need more cleanse. This guy's rezzing me, which is kind of illegal, but I guess it is what it is. Get the corrupt there. I'm delving? Yeah, that's content. Yeah, I mean, Conidor is pretty gnarly, huh? Get the blind. Oh no, there's a Deadeye on me. Well, I mean, that's really just not going to go well at all, is it? And yeah. With a Deadeye, that's going to be a little bit too much. I think I need to take more Connie clans to deal with the Druid, though. Otherwise, it's not viable. I think I can fight the Deadeye pretty easily. Duranty and Mucklow did? Wait, how did Lara... Lara did not compare it to the tunnel. There's no fucking shot. There is no way that Lara would compare that to the tunnel. There's no way. Yeah. They said it was like Guile the Delve, not the tunnel update particularly. Wait, what? Wait, I feel like it's way more like season 3. It feels like Bloodstone Fen to me a little bit. V-Rage over the Prime. Are you the Peepo today? I mean, look. I think with that Plague Signet, I think we can win. That Druid build's really nasty though, actually. This build is not great against Condi, to be honest. It doesn't have that much. Oh wait, what is this? Wait. Oh no. Bro, I'm on... No wonder I've got fucking ZDPS. I'm completely the wrong build. Wait, what is... Oh, bro. I'm completely the wrong build. Oh, no. We're okay, never mind. Whoops. 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 Okay. That's just the way it goes. All right. Look, that was... that really wasn't it, my friends. He's going to go for the entangle soon. Whoops. Get the cleanse. Ooh. We have to disengage this now. I can't find him currently. I mean, Deadeye is going back, man. Got the transfer on him there. That's a pretty juicy transfer. Oh, bro. I think I'm dead. Yeah. Man, that's really nasty, that druid build, huh? I think I actually can win, though. Yeah. I think Conley Druid is actually really strong now. I might have to use food. I think I can win. I didn't actually play well. I need to actually learn what this build does. I think we need to play this like very slowly. Problem is he has a lot of sustain. Okay. I think now we got to pile on the pressure though. Got a decent transfer there. He's going to go for the immobilize. I'm going to get the root here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Happy birthday, Angels. Is his birthday today? Holy shit, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty nasty build for sure. Could do something like a leadership relic, maybe. Because like the Condi cleanser is pretty mid. I need to be on spear so I get the cleansing sigil proc, I think. To win here. There's a lot of damage coming out from this. Definitely need to like abuse the range. We can lifesteal off his pet, actually. I think killing the pet is relevant, too. But she dodges initial CC there. Nice, that was a big dodge. I don't want to get hit by that, and we're not going to. We can get some big pressure here. Now this is a leave situation. Oh, I was too slow. I wanted to follow that through. Okay, we landed that. Get another hit. No stability. Go into this. Do we land the CC? We do. I believe we're looking good here. Gonna take that into the unblockable, into this, into that. Need to get away. Okay. Let's remove. Do we land this fear? I'm going to disengage. Goodbye. That's going to land. Ooh, that's bad. We need to get out. Actually, no, we're good. Oh, he just dodged. Do we land? We do. That's a big connection. Got the resistance. His pet's actually dead. Into the unblockable. That's bad by me. I kind of forgot I had quickness. No stability now. Okay. Dropping out. I'm just going to kill his pet. His life steal up on it. There's the fear. Projectile block's pretty juicy from him though. Need to life steal here. Oh, I think I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. He's very mobile. I can't actually catch him in that situation. I should have actually just like hard reset the fight there. I shouldn't have gone in without my cleanse. I thought I could finish him off, but I couldn't do it. I think I know how to win here. The problem is that I think he can just get away, which is a problem. I just need to actually not attack until he overcommits. I kind of need to bait him into making a mistake and overcommitting because he's too fast. I can't catch him actually. Because I was winning there really hard. I actually threw there. Because I was winning, but then he just got away, and I just continued to chase, which was really not the play. Hard reset as a mistake. It does not work. I mean, it does work, Laurie. You have to stick to it. You've got to get the execution. All right. My Gorman dies. Go into the elite here. We get the CC. I think we can just keep the pressure up now. Yeah, this is the problem. The problem is it's like really hard for me to actually finish him off. He's got good disengage, good mobility on this build. I think we have him now, though. Morning to Japan over there, Fatsaw72. Looks like you GG'd. Nah, that's not how it works. It's only GG when the when you get someone to downstate. My videos actually guides which are unlikely to engage with. Overall, well, someone linked me your video. That's why I saw it. But I am also a subscriber in the LCM race. Nah, I'm not playing LCM. Timing's just not good for me, and my team also doesn't really play the game. It's not ideal. Pretty interesting matchup, actually. Whoa, how the fucking Yak do? Yak's going crazy. He's going to go for the worm. Let's see if he gets baited a little bit there. He kind of did. You can see where the pet is going. Yeah, I followed him. I followed there, and I dropped my CC there because I saw the pet. I think I actually just out-trade here, to be honest. Oh. Well, I mean, that's just unfortunate. Big scarcity of CM, LCM guides. Because the community is too small, and honestly, the people who would make that don't care enough. That's why. Yeah, like Gormandize is a really powerful tool here, I feel like. Got the dodge in his pull there. I should just kill the pet there. That's pretty tasty. Leap in. I think we just go big here. We got resistance. He's very dead here, I think. I think he's dead. Should be downstate. Yep. Okay, I think I've figured out the build now. How to play against it. Big. We love to see it. Spear 4, we're casting Spear 3. I guess that would be good. I usually just use it with Spear 2 and just like try and go into some damage with it. Yeah, I mean the raid community is just like decaying over time, right? Like it's just dying pretty much. So like people don't really feel a lot of like motivation to kind of keep pushing for this stuff. Because the scene is just like decaying over time. It's like getting smaller and smaller. People don't feel like a lot of energy behind it. Because it's going downhill rather than uphill. I think we have him here, right? Yeah. It's really hard to play into something like that when you don't know what it does, but I think I know what it does now. Definitely got me the first couple of times because I was like, bro, like what are these fucking condies, man? Playing for a long time. Well, it's just, look, I don't want to be too doom about this shit, but at the end of the day, like all of these communities, like PvP and World versus World and PvE, they're declining. They're not increasing. Like, and that makes it it's very hard to like maintain motivation when you're not growing something, you're stemming the bleeding. Does that make any sense? Right? Like it's a very different feel, right? Like it's a very, very different feel to be making content in that environment, you know? Bro, dude, like my cleanse got interrupted again. I think we're actually still recoverable here, though. Oh, I need resistance here. I think we're actually surprisingly okay. We have to like hard reset this though, because we need to get this transfer. We can kill the pet. Pet's dead. Need to do some like LOS bullshit here. I need to just leave. I need to just back off here. I think we can bait him over here, then port back with the worm. It's probably going to be the play. He's over here now. We take this back. This is not a good start. I actually can't do anything for a while. I can't trade until we actually have the ability to do something. Oh, we need to get out of here. Get the health back. There we are. I don't currently have a stun break, so like engaging here is really not going to be it. There we are. And like now we're in a pretty good position. Bro. I actually have to use the elite here. Where are you? That's the CC. That should be a kill. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, when you get into a situation like that, you just have to not die, right? Like, that's the really big one. You just have to not die. And you have to just wait for cooldowns. Like, if you fight a build like this that has some, like, really nasty CC on it, like, if you go and fight into it, if you fight into that build when you don't have a stun break, it's just not really going to go well for you. Obstructed? What the fuck? That's crazy. And this is like we want to be like mega abusing about face here as well. You can see we're just like mega abusing about face. I actually think killing the pet is actually massive. Yeah, the pet's just dead now. Like, now we can actually just play aggressive, I think. And we're just going to stability here. And just maybe try and bulldoze. Yeah, we can just bulldoze, I think. Without the pet, he's actually a lot less dangerous, yeah. And that's interesting because that means that he has to set the tempo. That's interesting. Like, the opponent here needs to be aggressive because otherwise his pet's going to die to my sword attacks. And then without the Iboga, he's actually a lot less dangerous. That's like another important thing about the matchup. Like, I think he should maybe start on the turtle, actually. In fact, I think he definitely should. I think starting on the Iboga is maybe not the way. Because if he starts on the Iboga, I'm going to kill it. And that's actually a problem for him. Or maybe he should just, like, hold it back. Because, look, the Ibogas are going to die really quickly, right? Yeah, he's pulling it back now. I think that's good. He's killing my stun break. That's illegal. Good, we're out. My worm is down. Be a little bit careful. You can just try and hit something here and get a transfer. Ooh, this is bad. We need to go stability into cleanse. I think the opponent overcommitted here a little bit. Because now we can get some big damage off. That was actually really disgusting. We transferred the immobilized there. Yeah, he's dead. Okay, yeah. Yes. Huge. Incredible. Some epic 1v1s here, guys. The effects are so cool, I might get it. Well, I mean, yeah, you can definitely get it. Let's put the fucking worm. Yeah, he's starting on the turtle. I think that's good. Because then you can swap to the Iboga. Yeah, this is why sword is such a nice weapon on Necro, though. You can trade, like, really well with this. And abusing the pet here is big, because I can keep lifestealing off his pet. He actually has to have, like, really good pet micro, I think, to do well in this matchup. Because the thing is, what's happening here is that I can just cleave his pet and lifesteal, like, big time off that. I'm just going to stability here. This is really good for me already. We can just go Shroud and get some pressure on. That will actually transfer the immob. That's big. Let's get a couple of free hits. The Iboga is in now. We can actually try and pressure it a bit. Oh, he actually slipped out of combat there, but fine. Got the lifesteal. Yeah, sword's a really, really powerful weapon on Necro for this reason. It's like trades really well. You can just trade with people. And because we're both 900 rangers, it's kind of funny, right? A funny meme. Yeah, we're getting big damage on that pet. I just want to kill the Iboga again. Because like he's just swapped pets, so we can just get some big pressure on the Iboga. Need to get out of here. Okay. I feel actually fairly confident now. Get the elixir. Oh. Whoops. That was actually pretty bad. We need to be a little more careful. That's not going to cut it. Gonna get rid of all that. Bro, the fucking yak. That's actually insane. Yak just owned me. That was fucking juicy. Holy shit. Can we get a corrupt here? I'm just going to push. We can just go for a big aggression. Dodge that. Nice. Okay. Started to get a little bit of a feel for that timing. Because the real key is how long... Oh, I'm not going to waste it on that. How long does it take him to get a Lunar Beam off? Because the Lunar Beam is the immobilize, right? So that's what you've got to be worried about. He's actually using the Lunar Beam now. I'm going to stun break into a cleanse. We can get a cleanse here as well. We can get a transfer. Big transfer. I'm slowed. Oh, I needed to dodge that. That was not good. I think we're actually pretty all in right now. This is bad. We need to disengage now. Need to do a bit of a reset. Bad situation. That was not a good worm placement, if I'm being real. He's going for a pull, yep. Ooh, we get the Iboga though. That's nice. Need to cleanse. Ooh, I think we're actually dead here, to be honest. I'm not sure there's a way out. Oh, we actually get a really nice burst there. Is that enough? Into the elite. It actually lands. Nice, okay. That was a pretty spicy one. I think that build is actually really dangerous though. It has like a really good blend of damage and mobility. Actually very strong, I think. Yeah. Iboga roach out. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that thing, right? A lot of heals, yeah, a lot of heals. Duo okay with Boyce? If Boyce was a duo, I'd duo with Boyce if he wants to. I think I'm too much of a scrub though for that. Oh shit, there's a mech over here as well. He's arrived. Was that fast car? Not sure if it was fast car. Fast car would never lose. Okay, he's trying to play aggressive here, I think. If he counted my dodges, I think he'd actually be in a pretty interesting spot there. Counting dodges is really big. I actually double dodged there basically for no reason. That was really not it. And now he has no dodges here. He might have an energy sigil, I suppose. I think we can actually get some... keep piling on the heat. He's up here. You can see the effect. And we can just, like, pile on the pressure, I think. We can hit him through the wall with this. Watch... yeah, dodge the Lunar Beam. The fucking guard is about to own me. I think that might hit him. Oh, not quite. Just gonna pour it out. Need to get rid of this fucking guard, man. It's gonna own me otherwise. Gonna kill it. Oh, he's gone for even more immobilize. The jacaranda is here. Jacaranda and the turtle. Sounds like a story, you know? He might get CC'd after his stability runs out there and not expect it. Could just kill the pet here again. Pet dies. There we go. You know, this is very interesting. I actually wonder if people know about just like killing the pet. I feel like the opponent here is maybe not used to people actually doing that. It's actually very annoying because you have to really micro against it. An LOS here. He goes for the entangle. He's going to port out. Can go into a cleanse. Oh, man. Got a corrupt. He has no stability right now. We actually get a catch. I think we can just keep pressuring. Elite into immobilize into 2. Nice, yeah, there we are. Okay. Take on rubber duckies. Rubber duckies are pretty good. Rubber ducks or a rubber froggy? Oh, dude. I think I'd be kind of in favor of the frog. You know, the frog is pretty good. Ducks are pretty good as well, though. Boys code another cancer ranger. Dude, like the Condi ranger builds around now are fucking nuts. Absolutely gnarly. Wait, is there something going on? Have we got like content or what? No, dude. Good fights from that guy, actually. That guy's good. Good player. Definitely some challenging fights there. Had to get a good feel for how that build works. There's so many like crazy ass builds that people have cooked up these days. There's a lot of build variety. Like that's something that CMC and Trig have done a really good job of. There's like so many things that are really fucking strong, to be honest, in the current meta. And yeah, like some of the Condi Ranger builds, it's kind of similar builds to that. I think you play Condi Soul Beast in PvP, not Druid, and I'm sure like Soul Beast would work in World vs. World too. Druid is really nice though, because I think Druid is really good for roaming in World vs. World, because you have so much mobility, right? He has that staff, he has the invisibility and so on. You know, with the stealth and the super speed, and that makes it really good for kind of surviving those, you know, kind of surviving those outnumbered scenarios, right? Ah, Fortune Maximum. So hey, you're welcome with some good stuff. Very cool build you have there, actually. Very difficult to engage. Calling Swords with the B is so good, bro. Like, listen, I blame Trig for this. Like, Trig like generates like the most cancer ever. Have we actually, is NA pulling yet? Let me actually see if NA's pulling on Narsen's stream. Oh, I think, wait, Narsen, wait, is Narsen not streaming? I actually might just go stream off then as well. Looks like they are doing some pulls, but just off stream, which honestly is fair. But yeah, I will just probably end the stream there with some fucking World vs. World epic 1v1s. Epic 1v1s. How did I end up on that Death Magic build, though? Because this is, like, the old build. Oh, I just clicked on this one by accident, yeah. Like, this is not the build you want to play, guys. Oh, yeah, this was not it. Holy shit. I didn't have... Oh, I actually should have maybe even swapped to... I should have changed my build here a little bit more, too. I think it would have been a little bit better against the Druid. I should have dropped the Worm, maybe, and taken Plague Signet. I think I was a bit too over-attached to the Worm. I think going Plague Signet would have been better. 20-second cooldown, stun break. And it transfers 3 Condis, which would obviously be really good against the Druid. I can get the Immobilize there, which would be really good. And I should have played this trait as well, just for more damage. Like, the protection wasn't really going to help, wasn't That was really not going to help, you know, against the druid so much. Like having the more damage would have been the way to go, to be honest with you. Or maybe even more poison application to deny the healing with septic corruption. But yeah, this one really wasn't doing that much. That would have been the way to go. The mech comeback. Look, honestly, I welcome the return of the God Emperor. Yeah, this is the way to go. Yeah, I think if I fought that again, I'd take Plague Signet. Do something like this. Then I've got big Condi Cleanse here, Stun Break Condi Cleanse here, and just reduce damage before I use it. 10% reduced incoming Condi damage. And then Spectral Walk is always good, just for the mobility. Although the Worm was nice for like getting out of a scrape sometimes, but I think Plague Signet would kind of do the same thing. You can be a duck in Guild Wars 2. I mean, wait, can you? And look, we also learned from Jeremy B the Addle tech, the Addle technology. Immobilized tech was pretty effective on some of those kills, that's for sure. Huge. Not gonna lie, like all of those fights were carried by Sword, to be honest. Sword is really good. It's really good in PvP as well, actually, but yeah, it's like super nasty in World versus World. Because you just get so much value trades. And it's really annoying for the Ranger there because I was able just to heal off his pet, right? I just kept using my auto attacks to heal off his pet a little bit. I think I actually should have used Path of Gluttony more, though, because you can get Boon Corrupt. I was maybe a little bit too timid with using this ability. I use it the most like as an escape tool, but if you actually land both of these, look at this, guys. You get, like, you know, 2 Condis, or 2 Boons corrupted there, which is actually pretty nice. It's not, maybe it's actually kind of slow, though. It's like a slow animation, right? So maybe it's not that good. I think the real key in that situation was like landing auto attacks, this ability, like Ravenous Wave, and then Gormandize. Like Gormandize honestly carried those fights really hard because it was able to kill the pet. Like in a lot of the fights where the Iboga was out, I could just kill the Iboga really effectively by like hitting, landing that. Because of course the pet can't dodge, so you can get a double hit. You go straight into the Gormandize after that. And this ability was actually surprisingly good as well. When I was landing this, the follow-up skill was actually really nice. Because you just get like a bonus sort of lifesteal, actually. So you getting the Devouring Visage into the Consume was pretty good. Huge. Omega Gaming. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. That'll do. I will be back tomorrow. Guys, tomorrow, I will be on time, okay? I am going to be on time. You better believe it. I slept in today. I actually slept through my alarm. I was super tired. But tomorrow, bright and early, we'll be here for the Race to World's First. And it's going to be the same as today. It will be Race to World's First, into WoW Raid, into Race World's First, and we'll see if we have any developments. And I'm very curious to see if there's going to be some kind of post about potential changes to the encounter, or like, you know, some nerfs coming through to the fight. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. It should be interesting to see what happens. Who are we going to raid? Is Boy still streaming? He absolutely is. Honestly, seeing as we just fought a Condi Druid, I think it's the raid it will be Boyce. Let's do that. So let's make that happen, guys. Okay, say out a Boyce for me, okay? Eventually, I'm going to bribe him into duo queuing with me, and he'll carry me to rank 1 and also to monthly AT win. Very exciting times ahead of us in that regard. But anyway, until then, gamers, I will see you next time. GG's, gamers. Thanks for watching. Follow, subscribe. Give me your money. Come back and watch tomorrow. It's going to be great. See ya later. GG's, gamers. Good night.